I've got an important meeting this morning, and I don't want to be late. And you know how bad the traffic is at this hour.
What is all this?
What if I told you that the cast of Bewitched, the beloved sitcom that brought magic into our homes, was plagued by a series of tragic losses? While the show enchanted audiences for decades, behind the scenes, time took its toll on its most iconic stars. Some left us too soon, while others quietly faded away, leaving only memories of their spellbinding performances. Today, we're looking back at the stars of Bewitched who have passed away and the legacies they left behind. For 5 seasons, Dick York played the lovable and exasperated Darren Stevens on Bewitched, bringing humor and heart to the role. But behind the scenes, York was hiding an excruciating secret. In 1959, years before Bewitched, a set accident while filming They Came to Cordura left him with a debilitating spinal injury. He pushed through the pain, masking his struggles with prescription painkillers, but by season 5 it became too much. While filming an episode, he collapsed on set and suffered a seizure. His body had given out. Unable to continue, York was forced to leave the show, and his career soon faded. In his later years, York faced financial ruin, even relying on welfare for a time. But despite it all, he remained kind and generous, dedicating his final days to helping the homeless through his charity, Acting for Life. He passed away in 1992 from complications of emphysema, leaving behind a legacy of laughter and a story of resilience few ever knew. As Bewitched's fiery, quick-witted Endora, Agnes Moorehead cast a spell over audiences with her dazzling presence. But behind the flamboyant makeup and sharp humor was a woman of remarkable depth. Born in 1900, Moorehead's career spanned decades before she became TV's most iconic mother-in-law. A star of radio, stage, and film, she earned 4 Oscar nominations and even voiced one of Disney's most feared villains, Lady Tremaine in Cinderella. Yet, her life took a tragic turn. On April 30th, 1974, at the age of 73, Moorehead passed away from uterine cancer. Some speculated that exposure to radiation while filming The Conqueror, a movie shot near a nuclear test site, may have contributed to her illness. Many cast and crew members later died of cancer, fueling theories about the film's potential deadly legacy. Though she left us 50 years ago, Moorehead's unforgettable performances continue to enchant generations. The magic of Endora and Agnes lives on. To Bewitched fans, David White was the fast-talking, deal-closing Larry Tate, the ad executive who could switch from charming to furious in a heartbeat. But beyond the sitcom, White's life was marked by both success and profound personal tragedies. Born Daniel David White in 1916, his career spanned Broadway, film, and television after serving in the U.S. Marine Corps during World War II. While Bewitched made him a household name, he also appeared in classics like The Twilight Zone and The Apartment. But behind the scenes, heartbreak struck twice. In 1958, his first wife, Mary Welch, died due to pregnancy complications. Then in 1988, his son Jonathan perished in the Pan Am Flight 103, bombing over Lockerbie, Scotland. These losses deeply affected White. 2 years after his son's death, on November 27, 1990, White passed away at 74 from a heart attack. He was survived by his daughter, Alexandra. Though he's gone, his portrayal of Larry Tate remains unforgettable. Forever the smooth-talking boss with a knack for comedy and chaos. As Gladys Kravitz on Bewitched, Alice Pierce perfected the role of the nosy neighbor, her shocked expressions and shrill exclamations making her a fan favorite. But behind the comedy was a woman battling a heartbreaking secret. Diagnosed with terminal cancer before Bewitched even began, Pierce kept her illness private, determined to keep working. She brought humor and charm to Gladys, even as she quietly fought for her life. Remarkably, she continued filming until just 2 weeks before her passing. On March 3, 1966, at just 48 years old, Pierce succumbed to ovarian cancer. The impact of her loss was so significant that ABC broke into primetime broadcasting to announce her death. Shortly after, she was posthumously awarded an Emmy for her unforgettable performance, with her husband Paul Davis accepting the honor on her behalf. Though her time was tragically short, Pierce's comedic brilliance lives on. Whether spying through curtains or gasping in disbelief, Gladys Kravitz and the woman who brought her to life remain an irreplaceable part of television history. Replacing a beloved TV character is never easy, but when Dick Sargent stepped in for Dick York as Darren Stevens on Bewitched in 1969, he made the role his own. His dry wit and charm kept the show's magic alive, but Sargent's life off-screen was just as compelling. Before Bewitched, he built a steady career in Hollywood, but fame came with struggles. After years of keeping his personal life private, he came out as gay on National Coming Out Day in 1991, becoming a proud advocate for LGBTQ+ rights and AIDS awareness. His courage resonated, making him one of the few openly gay actors of his era. In 1992, he served as Grand Marshal of the Los Angeles Gay Pride Parade alongside his Bewitched co-star Elizabeth Montgomery. Diagnosed with prostate cancer in 1989, Sargent continued his advocacy work, including support for the Special Olympics. In 1994, at age 64, he lost his battle with the disease. Though forever remembered as the other Darren, his impact went far beyond sitcom history. He was a trailblazer who used his voice to inspire, proving that his greatest role was simply being himself. With just a twitch of her nose, Elizabeth Montgomery bewitched audiences worldwide. As Samantha Stevens, she brought humor, grace, and charm to the role, making Bewitched one of the most beloved sitcoms of all time. But Montgomery was more than just TV's favorite witch. Born into Hollywood royalty, she defied expectations, taking on bold, controversial roles after Bewitched, like a rape survivor in A Case of Rape and the infamous Lizzie Borden in The Legend of Lizzie Borden. Off-screen, she was fiercely private, yet passionate about social causes, advocating for LGBTQ+ rights and AIDS awareness. In March 1995, Montgomery was diagnosed with colon cancer. Despite treatment, the disease spread to her liver and lungs. She passed away on May 18, 1995, at the age of 62, just 8 weeks after her diagnosis, leaving fans stunned. Nearly 30 years later, her legacy still shines as bright as ever, because true magic never fades. On Bewitched, Marian Lauren's Aunt Clara was the lovable, bumbling witch with a heart of gold and a knack for botched spells. With her collection of antique doorknobs and forgetful charm, she stole every scene. But Lauren's magic wasn't just on screen. It was real. Born in 1883, though she often claimed younger birth years, Lauren had a long, celebrated career in theater, television, and surprisingly, only 3 films. Despite decades in the industry, Bewitched finally made her a household name at age 80. Her portrayal of Aunt Clara was so adored that even Elizabeth Montgomery spoke of her with deep affection. Sadly, Lauren passed away from a heart attack in 1968 at age 84. Just 10 days later, she was posthumously awarded an Emmy for her role. Her character was never recast, because no one could replace her. Decades later, her warmth, humor, and unmistakable magic still make Aunt Clara unforgettable. Paul Lynde, born June 13, 1926, didn't need a starring role to be unforgettable. As the sarcastic, scene-stealing Uncle Arthur on Bewitched, he brought a sharp wit and mischievous charm that left audiences in stitches. But behind the laughter, Linde's life was more complex. After making his Broadway debut in New Faces of 1952, Linde built a successful career in comedy, shining as the center square panelist on Hollywood Squares from 1968 to 1981 and in films like Bye Bye Birdie. His flamboyant persona made him a fan favorite, but in an era when being openly gay could end a career, he lived much of his life in secrecy. Despite professional success, Linde struggled with personal demons, including substance abuse. On January 10, 1982, he passed away at just 55 from a heart attack. Though gone too soon, his razor-sharp humor and comedic brilliance remain timeless. Uncle Arthur may have been a side character, but Paul Lynde was always the star. Though their time on Earth has ended, the stars of Bewitched continue to shine in the hearts of fans. Their magic, their charm, and their unforgettable performances live on, reminding us of a golden era of television. Which Bewitched star left the biggest impact on you? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more nostalgic trips down memory lane. Their magic may have faded, but their legacy will never be forgotten. See you in the next video.